All right, just as a kind of a redo here real quick. Long answer question on this test. Final question, really more like a final end of your exam one. It's going to give you 3 points in a question. The diagram itself is super helpful. There's one piece of information that's not in the bullets, it's in the diagram, and it's this guy right here. Okay? Which, if you see that, I would love for you to just write that right off the bat. Just doing that is free marks for you, right? Because it shows that you know what that is. 0 and 84. Okay? So from here, if I ever see something that looks like this, my first step on any question like that would be to rearrange it. Okay? I want this to look like what? Y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b. So again, just like that one I did previous, and that's why I put that as the last question on the short answer there is, let's try and rearrange this guy. And I'm rearranging it for a reason, but I'll get to it in a second. So same thing as before. I'm going to bring the 4x over. So because it's negative, I'll be adding 4x to both sides. 3y plus 224 is equal to 4x. Okay? The next thing I will be doing is moving over the 224, right? Bringing that guy. Didn't matter which one you brought first, just so long as, at this point, 4x minus 224. Okay? So now I kind of have it set up the way I would like. Okay? If I'm trying to get it into y equals mx plus b format, that 3 is in my way. The first two steps, I took the full chunk. So because I'm not just taking negative 4, I'm taking negative 4x. And it's by itself over here. I know it's by itself over here because it's 4x plus this guy here. So because I'm bringing that full guy over, I'm going to add it and do the opposite operation to get to the other side. Whereas this guy here, I'm going to be dividing by 3. Because I'm not bringing over the y, I'm bringing over the 3. I want the y to stay there. So divide by 3. So flipping this guy, dividing this guy across here, I'd end up with, yours still ended up working out because you wrote down the slope right and got the perpendicular one. 1 point. Now, this is where I'd leave it as the fraction because it's going to make your life easier. You can still do it the other way if you want. It's an ugly number here, so 74.7. So that's the rule of this guy here. Weird and ugly, but all I care about is that slope right there. That's all I care about. Do you guys want to see it as the fraction, or do you want me to do it as a decimal? How do you want to see it? Do you care, or do you want to see it as a fraction? Decimal? Fraction, decimal? Decimal? Okay.
I moved the 224 over first. I didn't move the 4x. So I moved the 224, then I moved the 4x.
Yep. That's fine. So yeah, either one, as long as I get both those guys on that side there. So right now I have 4/3. 2 ways to do it, so I'll show you both. Okay. What if this guy is 1.333? So the slope of this is that. We can also leave it as a fraction. From here, it's your choice. The perpendicular slope is just flip it and switch it. Whereas the perpendicular slope when using decimals, -1 divided by 1.333 repeating.
Equals -0.75.
Both of them, so then I'm going to go back down, both of them give me -0.75. So it doesn't matter what route I take, I'm still going to end up on that, but it's entirely up to you what route you want to take. Okay? Also true with life.
Wow.
No?
No.
I'm trying to be wise, but these guys are bugging me right now. So at this stage, why did I do all that? If you could get to here, that would be perfect. Why did I get to here? What was the purpose of me rearranging it and getting that slope?
I just have a question. How did you get negative 0.75?
Because you divided 1 in 1.33.
So on this,
Oh.
so you can either go this way or you can go this way. I to the 4/3, right, Bradley? I can just flip it. So denominator goes for numerator, numerator goes for denominator. If it was positive, now it's negative. Yeah?
Oh, I just kept it as a fraction.
So, and that's fine. You just go this route and you'd end up with negative 0.75. So that means, and this is where people will get confused, is that the slope, so all of this told me that the slope of line 2 is negative 0.75.
I was just confused. I didn't have that, but I just kept negative 3/4.
Oh, that's fine as well. Yeah, that's fine as well. Yeah. So now that I have that, this question actually becomes quite a bit easier. If I know what the 0 and 84 is, if I know that this is line 2, okay? So I know two things right now. I know that the b of this line is 84, and I know the slope of this line is negative 0.75. This slope goes with line 2. The b is right there in front of me. So now I'm going to combine them together. Y is equal to negative 0.75x plus 84. That's the rule of line 2. If you could get to there, I was absolutely pumped. Okay, because you rearranged stuff, you saw the relationship, and were able to actually flip things around, get the slope of it, recognize the y-intercept, and combine it all together in one rule. That's huge. That's a lot of higher order thinking, to be honest with you. Now, the last part of this is it's asking what are the coordinates of point D. What the heck is point D? Let me go back to the diagram. Always go back to the diagram. Okay? I look at it, where the heck? Oh, there it is right there. Okay? What are the coordinates of point D? It also indicates here that point D is on the x-axis. What does that mean?
X is 0. Y is 0. Y is 0.
It's always the opposites.
Sir, Brad.
Y is equal to 0. So now all we have to do is basically find point D. So find point D. So set y to 0, 0.75x plus 84. Let's rearrange and solve for this x right there. So negative 84.75x, we can divide by negative 0.75. X is equal to 112, I think. You can go with my validator in the back there.
It's right, sir.
So when it says, if I wanted to be a stickler, and let's just say this was Yanni writing the test, okay? Technically, the final answer is 112 and 0, because it says, what are the coordinates of D? So that's technically the coordinates. If you found x is 112 and went through all this, holy cow, I'd be so happy. So I may have just probably given it to you anyway. But technically, those are the coordinates. And that is my time for the day. I yield the rest of my time to the floor.